The Untold Journey of the Maroons, From Slavery to Freedom, Linking Jamaica and Sierra Leone. Imagine being torn from your homeland, shipped across the Atlantic in chains, escaping into wild mountains to fight one of the world's greatest empires, and then decades later being forced to cross the ocean again, this time back to Africa. This is the extraordinary journey of the Maroons, my people, warriors of freedom who carried their African roots from the coasts of Ghana and Nigeria to the mountains of Jamaica, and then to the shores of Freetown, Sierra Leone. I'm Jamaican Konomusu, and today I'm sharing a story that is rarely told in full. A story of courage, betrayal, survival, and culture that links Jamaica and Sierra Leone in blood and history. Let's begin at the source. West Africa in the 17th and 18th centuries. Millions of Africans were captured by slave traders, many from the Akan-speaking peoples of today's Ghana and Ivory Coast, as well as the Yoruba, Igbo, Congo, and others. They were shipped across the Atlantic to the Caribbean islands, including Jamaica. On the brutal sugar plantations of Jamaica, people were forced to work long hours under the whip. But not everyone accepted enslavement. Some escaped into the wild interior, into the cockpit country and the Blue Mountains, places so rugged that British soldiers feared to enter. These runaways built hidden villages and fought to stay free. They became known as Maroons from the Spanish word cimarron, meaning wild or untamed. But to themselves, they were simply free people, guardians of African traditions in a strange land. The Maroons didn't just hide, they fought. Armed with African knowledge of guerrilla tactics, they staged ambushes, cut off supply lines, and struck fear into British troops. Two great leaders emerged, Queen Nanny of the Windward Maroons, a legendary warrior woman and spiritual leader, and Cudger of the Leeward Maroons in Trelawney Town. For decades, battles raged between the Maroons and the British. Finally, in 1739 and 1740, after suffering heavy losses and realizing they could not defeat the Maroons, the British signed peace treaties. These treaties granted the Maroons their freedom, recognized their land, and acknowledged them as a separate people. An almost unheard of victory for formerly enslaved Africans in the Americas. But peace came at a price. The treaties required the Maroons to return runaway slaves to the plantations, a condition that caused tension with other enslaved Africans and even among the Maroons themselves. For decades the balance held, but resentment simmered. In 1795, conflict erupted again, the Second Maroon War. The British, determined to crush the Maroons once and for all, surrounded Trelawney Town. The Maroons surrendered under promises of mercy, but the British betrayed them. Nearly 600 men, women, and children were captured and exiled, their homes destroyed, their freedom torn away. Instead of being allowed to stay in Jamaica, the captured Maroons